In my 42 years on the bench, I've seen thousands of defendants walk through my courtroom doors. The nervous first-time offenders, the hardened repeat criminals, the genuinely remorseful who made one terrible mistake. But every once in a while, a case comes across my desk that shakes me to my core, not because of the crime itself, but because of what it reveals about where we are as a society. This was one of those cases. When I read the file about Marcus Caldwell III assaulting a homeless veteran outside a Providence restaurant, I thought I'd prepared myself. Then I watched the video. Then I read what he posted online while awaiting trial. Let me tell you what happened, and why I had to deliver a sentence that went viral with over 8 million views. The case file arrived on my desk on a Tuesday morning. My clerk placed it in front of me with an unusual comment. "Judge, you need to see this one." The charges: assault and battery on a person over 60. The defendant, Marcus Caldwell III, 24 years old, son of billionaire real estate developer Marcus Caldwell Jr. The victim, Robert Bobby Martinez, 67 years old, homeless veteran, Purple Heart recipient. As I read through the police report and reviewed the preliminary evidence, I could feel my jaw tightening. Bobby Martinez had been sitting outside Bellini's, an upscale Italian restaurant downtown, with a cardboard sign asking for help. He wasn't blocking anyone. He wasn't harassing anyone. He was just sitting there quietly. Marcus Caldwell had been dining there with friends, celebrating his new Lamborghini purchase, according to social media posts. When he exited and saw Bobby, something inside him decided this was offensive. What concerned me most was the escalation. This wasn't a momentary loss of temper. This was sustained, deliberate cruelty. Here's what happened that night, based on security footage and witness testimony. It was approximately 10:45 p.m. Bobby was sitting against the brick wall with his worn military jacket on, the one with his unit patch still visible, and a small cup with a few dollars in it. His sign read, "Homeless veteran, anything helps, God bless." When I watched the security footage, I saw Marcus and his friends exit the restaurant, laughing loudly. Then Marcus noticed Bobby. What happened next made my blood run cold. Marcus walked directly up to Bobby and kicked the cup of change, scattering coins across the sidewalk. When I saw this 67-year-old veteran scrambling to pick up those coins, it broke my heart. Bobby looked up and said, according to witnesses, "Sir, please, that's all I have." Marcus laughed, actually laughed. Then he said, "Get a job, loser. My dog eats better than you." Bobby tried to stand up, using the wall for support. He has chronic pain from old combat injuries. That's when Marcus shoved him back down, hard. Bobby's head hit the brick wall. I had to pause the video. At 67 years old, with existing health issues, being shoved into a brick wall could have caused catastrophic injury. Bobby was lucky to walk away with a concussion, bruised ribs, and lacerations requiring 6 stitches. But Marcus wasn't done. He took out his phone and started recording. "Look at this bum," he said on video. "This is what's wrong with Providence." 2 bystanders finally intervened. When police were called, Marcus said, "Do you know who my father is? This will disappear by morning." As I continued reviewing the evidence, the picture became more disturbing. The medical report showed Bobby suffered a grade 2 concussion, 3 bruised ribs, and lacerations. The attending physician noted this assault could have been fatal given Bobby's age and health conditions. 7 witnesses gave statements, all corroborating the same sequence. The investigation uncovered Marcus's social media history, posts mocking homeless people, photos with captions like "urban wildlife" showing people experiencing homelessness. Marcus had posted the video himself before deleting it, with the caption, "Cleaning up Providence one bum at a time, you're welcome." When arrested, Marcus resisted and told officers, "You can't arrest me. My father will have your badge." At booking, he said, "That guy was ruining everyone's night. I did what needed to be done." No remorse, no recognition that he'd assaulted another human being. By the time Marcus's court date arrived, this case had taken on a life of its own. The videos had millions of views. National outlets were covering it. Veteran advocacy groups were calling for maximum penalties. Here's what I told my team. It doesn't matter if 8 people are watching or 8 million. In my courtroom, everyone receives the same fair process. The viral attention doesn't change what I do. I focus on the facts, the law, and the person standing in front of me. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel the weight of this case. It was about whether wealth could insulate someone from consequences, whether a veteran who served his country would receive justice. My responsibility as a judge hasn't changed in 4 decades. Apply the law fairly and impose a sentence that serves justice while hopefully rehabilitating the defendant. When Marcus walked into my courtroom, I could tell immediately he still didn't grasp the situation. He wore an expensive suit, hair perfectly styled, with the confidence of someone who'd never faced real consequences. My courtroom was packed. Veterans wearing their VFW caps filled one side. And there in the front row sat Bobby Martinez, wearing a donated suit, his face still showing faint bruising, but sitting with dignity. I called court to order. Marcus had pled guilty to assault and battery in a plea agreement, standard legal maneuvering. But sentencing was at my discretion. "Mr. Caldwell," I said, "before I impose sentence, do you have anything to say?" He stood, reading from a prepared statement. "Your Honor, I regret what happened. I was drinking and made a poor decision. I've learned from this experience." The words were right, but the delivery, flat, perfunctory, told me everything. This wasn't remorse. "Mr. Caldwell, look at me, not at that paper. Did you write that yourself?" "My attorney helped me. I asked if you wrote it yourself." A pause. "No, Your Honor." "Tell me in your own words, do you understand why what you did was wrong?" He shifted uncomfortably. "I shouldn't have touched him." "Why not?" "Because it's assault." "No, Mr. Caldwell, not because it's illegal. Why was it wrong?" He looked genuinely confused. I had my clerk play the security footage. The courtroom fell silent as we watched Marcus kick Bobby's cup, mock him, shove him into the wall, and film him bleeding. When it finished, people were crying. "Mr. Caldwell," I said quietly, "that man you assaulted is Robert Martinez. He's 67 years old. He served 2 tours in Vietnam. He earned a Purple Heart protecting this country, protecting your right to live the privileged life you've enjoyed. You kicked away what little money he had. You mocked his suffering. You assaulted him. Then you filmed it like it was entertainment." I turned to Bobby. "Mr. Martinez, would you like to address the court?" Bobby stood slowly. "Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I just want dignity. I served my country. I'm still a human being. What hurt most wasn't the physical pain. It was being treated like trash, like I didn't matter." He looked at Marcus. "I hope you learn that every person matters." The courtroom was silent as Bobby sat down. Then my bailiff handed me a folder. Inside were screenshots from Marcus's social media, posted 3 days earlier. "Mr. Caldwell, did you post on Instagram that this trial is literally the most boring waste of time and you can't wait to put this dramatic nonsense behind you?" His face went pale. "Did you tell your friends in a group chat that your dad's lawyer will handle this? You'll get community service and the whole system is a joke?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. "You stood here and read words about regret, but you don't mean any of it, do you? In my 42 years on this bench, I've seen genuine remorse. You're not one of those people, Mr. Caldwell. Not yet, anyway." "Mr. Caldwell, I want you to understand something." I paused, letting the weight settle. "I've been a judge for 42 years. I've seen thousands of defendants. Some are remorseful. Some genuinely made mistakes. And some think the rules don't apply to them." I looked directly at him. "You posted that this trial is a waste of time, that the system is a joke. Let me be clear. You're wrong. In my courtroom, justice isn't for sale. Your father's billions don't change what you did." I opened my sentencing file. The plea agreement called for 60 days jail, suspended with probation. I'm rejecting that plea agreement. Marcus's attorney shot up. "Your Honor." "Sit down, Mr. Wexler. Sentencing is at my discretion." I turned back to Marcus. "Marcus Caldwell III, for assault and battery on an elderly person. I sentence you to the maximum term, 3 years in the adult correctional institutions. 2 years will be served, 1 year suspended. Gasps filled the courtroom. Upon release, 3 years probation with these conditions. First, 2,000 hours of community service at homeless shelters and veteran organizations, working directly with people you treated with contempt. Second, you'll complete a program on veteran issues and PTSD. Third, weekly anger management and empathy counseling. Fourth, you'll pay $50,000 restitution to Mr. Martinez from your own earnings, not family money. You'll get a job and pay every dollar yourself. Fifth, you're prohibited from posting on social media about this case during probation. Violations result in immediate incarceration. Sixth, you'll write a formal public apology in your own words, published in the Providence Journal. Finally, upon release, you'll maintain employment. No living off family money. You'll work and learn what it means to earn your way. I leaned forward. This sentence isn't about revenge. It's about teaching you what you should have learned. Respect, accountability, and that actions have consequences. During those 2 years, think about who you've been and who you want to become. During those 2,000 hours, see the faces of people you've dismissed. During counseling, develop the empathy you've never had. You have two choices: spend these years angry and bitter, or use this time to become better. Someone who understands that privilege comes with responsibility, someone who treats every human being with dignity. I genuinely hope you choose the second path, because right now, the person I see, the one who kicked a veteran's money, who shoved a 67-year-old hero into a wall, that's not who you should be. You have the resources and intelligence. Now you'll have the time. I hope you use it wisely. I brought down the gavel. Defendant is remanded immediately. After I adjourned, the courtroom erupted. Veterans were applauding. Marcus was being led away in handcuffs, finally crying real tears. Bobby Martinez approached the bench. He looked up with tears. Your Honor, thank you for seeing me, for treating me like I mattered. I stepped down and shook his hand. Mr. Martinez, you do matter. You've always mattered. You deserve justice. He saluted, a crisp military salute from a 67-year-old homeless veteran. I returned it. The video went viral, 8 million views within hours. I didn't care about that. I did what justice required. Marcus served 22 months. I later heard something changed in him. He'd started volunteering at the prison's veteran support group. He wrote a genuine 12-page apology that made Bobby cry. Let me tell you what I hope people learn from this case. Social media has created a culture where people film suffering for entertainment, where cruelty gets likes, where human beings become content. That should horrify us. Real life has consequences. Those posts, that casual cruelty, they don't exist in some separate digital world. They're real actions with real accountability. In my courtroom, I don't care about followers or money. What matters is, did you treat another human being with basic dignity? Marcus failed that test, but I believe in second chances. My sentence was about education and transformation. I gave him the opportunity. What he did with it was his choice. After 42 years, here's what I know. Justice isn't revenge. It's accountability, restoration, and prevention. It's protecting the vulnerable and teaching the powerful that privilege doesn't exempt them from human decency. Robert Martinez deserved justice. Every homeless veteran, every struggling person deserves that dignity. They're not trash. They're human beings, often heroes, who need our help, not contempt. If you take one thing from this case, how you treat people when you think nobody's watching reveals who you really are. Marcus thought Bobby didn't matter. He was wrong. Bobby mattered. He always